sounds like the sound is down. So, looks like we're finally getting some sound out of this. And we'll keep on checking a little bit more just to double check. And I can hear myself now. That's good. If this turns it off or it stays on. Disable. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Alright. Alright, let's see what happens here. Alright, let's start off with. Okay, let's start off with, we'll double check this throughout the day and see if we can straighten this thing out. But, I'm wondering if I switch headphones though. Let's see if you, let's switch a different headphone set. Let's see if it makes it any cooler or better. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1. There we go. Okay, we got something there. It's even better now. All right. All right. All right, that's cool. All right, this is Doc from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm running a little late today, a little technical difficulties. Thank you for the 21st. Thank you from the 21st century. I guess that's what you can say here. Yeah. Not sure what exactly fell apart, but in the end result is we've gotten it back up and running, and that's all counts. All right, let's see if we can give Robin a call just to double check, but I guess that would be right. Yeah. Yeah. There. Nah, it seems right. It's fine. Okay. All right, it's fine. Good. Because I've disconnected the other headphone set, and here we are still. So that's a good thing. All right, let's get rolling along. All right, so with all the global noise, I guess that's the best way to describe it, is global noise. Yep, global noise. I think that's the only way to describe it at this point. Things have become very weird. I mean, not counting yesterday's action with South Korea, we saw the South Korean situation break down, but we weren't expecting martial law. That was pretty wild, and it didn't last long. That's even the weirder part about it. We have France today. It must be like, I know that the planets are aligning. I know they're right around here. All the planets in the solar system are supposedly aligning. I can't remember if it was January, early part of January, or early part of December. I think it's the early part of December. And so obviously things are getting really weird. I mean, you could say in many ways, it started with Joe Biden pardoning his son, and the Director General of the Department of Justice, who's been there for 6 presidents, basically nullified it, said, no, you can't do that. And so at the same time, Mr. Biden wrote a letter as he pardoned him, saying that the lawfare is corrupt. And so he's confirming everything Mr. Trump has been saying for a while now. So now you have Joe Biden saying things are corrupt, and that's why I need to pardon my my son. And then you got martial law in South Korea behind that, and now you have a vote going on in France for dissolving the government and starting a new government. I mean, we have some of the strangest, and you would think, like, look at the dollar. We have the dollar index up on the screen. Let's give it a refresh. You would think we are at some type of strange point where, let's see, where's that? Full screen, there it is. We're at some strange point where you would think the dollar would be sold down. You would think that, stock indices would have problems. In other words, and instead, it seems almost irrelevant. It just shows you the power of the capitalism Mr. Trump is bringing to the country versus the socialism that Mr. Biden brought to the country. And if we didn't have quantitative easing, I would feel very comfortable. We've had quantitative easing now for since 2008. Basically the end of 2008, at the beginning of Mr. Obama's presidency, and if it wasn't for quantitative easing, we could fundamentally understand this market more. But instead, we're very much in an incredibly overstimulated financial system across the world. At the same time, pretty much most of the central banks are very weak, and they don't have anywhere near the power they used to have. At the same time, what's even worse is some of the major corporations on the planet have gone bankrupt, like a Merrill Lynch or a Lloyd's of London or a Bank of Scotland or, let me name a few more, Bear Stearns, Lehman Brothers, I'm trying to think who else, HSBC, Barclays Bank, Deutsche Bank. We have all these organizations, these corporations that have gone bankrupt, and they only exist now in name. They're owned by other entities, and so the marketplace pretends that they exist still, but they don't. They're just a subsidiary. Like right now, Merrill Lynch is a subsidiary of Bank of America. And I think it was Wachovia is now a subsidiary of Wells Fargo. And Citibank in New York is basically owned by the Federal Reserve. And Deutsche Bank is basically owned by the Federal Republic. In other words, we are in very strange times, so you can't use fundamentals to define the value of something anymore. Janos put out that webinar a long time ago about that, a couple of them. I wish we could find it. I say it all the time. And so technical analysis is literally the only avenue of understanding what's going on, and that's the stranger part of it all, is that we survive because of the Federal Reserve here in the States keeps things alive. They loan money to major hedge funds so that they'll hold stocks overnight, every night, and not liquidate. I mean, we have some of the strangest events going on, and you really don't hear it from the Federal Reserve, or you don't hear it from the major, or let's put it this way, the mainstream media. Bloomberg doesn't talk about it. Bloomberg News, AP doesn't talk about it. CNBC doesn't talk about it. You mildly get a little flavor of it out of Fox Business, but not Fox News, because Fox News is owned by Disney. You don't hear it from ABC, which is owned by Disney. I could go on and on and on. Nobody really talks about it more than I do. I'm probably one of the only people on the planet that shows evidence, constantly describes what's going on in real terms. And, the world keeps on spinning, it moves 24 hours a day around. Same old, different day. Good. There we go. Sip of water. That was good. That felt really good. So, all right. Now, let's take a look at, you can see there, that's the dollar index. And the dollar index, it's holding up. We take a look at the algorithms because, again, to a great extent, that's the only thing that will tell us the truth. I mean, price is not exactly, PE ratios and things like that are not exactly the thing to trust anymore. It's a strange world we live in. And so, we, kind of, keep on marching along, but it just doesn't happen. You know what I mean? It's definitely weird. All right. Now, from there, you can see same thing going on with the algorithm for the last 3 days in a buy. And obviously, when we go back to the full screen, you can see same thing going on with the bar chart itself and the prices. They've been moving up. And then we go over to exit the full screen, and you can see here the weekly algorithm. Same thing, been in buy for weeks upon weeks. So we, and you can see they're definitely trying to weaken it. You can see we talked about this yesterday, how it's going through the manifold, the slow algorithm on the weekly. The fast one is underneath it, but they can't get through the zero line. And, this is more of like just a dead cat, or, like bounces, they would say. It's, it's just soft and easy and, just not intense. It's just, it's just, I don't see them selling down dollars. I see them taking profits. And that's what we just saw right there, profits. All right, let's jump over to the euro. See how the euro is looking this morning. See the euro is in a sell for three. Let's not move that around. There you go. And you can see there, it's moving down for the last 3 days. And you can see the weekly's been in a weekly sell for a long while. Let's take a look at the spreadsheet. Make sure your currencies are all there at the moment. We'll just move it to it like that. There's the currencies and the spreadsheet and the whole bit. In fact, I we should really fix that stuff. Notice how it's underneath. Maybe we should just go like this. Grab that and move it down one, and move this one down one, and just keep on moving them down. So we'll go like this. Move Turkish lira. You know what I'll do tomorrow? I'll do that. I'll fix those things because everybody else is across from each other. You see them all across from each other. So somehow or another, it's set underneath. I wonder if I went like that and removed that row, delete, shift cells, or delete entire row. Let's do that and see what happens. There we go. No, it doesn't do that, does it? We'll have to move it up. All right. Well, we'll figure it out tomorrow. We'll get it straightened out. But you can see there, the euro's 10 weeks now in a weekly sell. See where it says right here, weekly sell, like that. And you can see that. And you can see most of them are in weekly sells. The Swiss and the Canadian are in weekly buys. What that means basically is that because of the way the pairs trade's looked at, the product is basically losing value against the dollar also. So, and as you can see, you can't see here. Let's put that up on the screen there. And so there's the euro. You can see the euro has been pressing down and all that long selling going on, and you see it right there. 10 weeks in a sell, 2 days in a sell. This has started the third day in a sell right there. Not going anywhere particular. I guess the markets will figure out what they're doing and why they're doing it and keep on trying. Oh, excuse me. I think that's pretty much the way it goes. From there, we'll take a look at cable. And you can see cable 9 weeks in a sell right there. So let's put the cable up on the screen. And there is cable. You can see that. Same pressure going on. You see it's just pressing down. You can see the weekly trying to turn up. we got the fast moving up there compared to, say, the euro. It's still not, it is through the manifold, but it's definitely not going at touching the zero line the way the cable is. The cable's showing that strength there. From there, we'll shift over to the Swiss. Take a look and see what the Swiss is up to. Right there, there's the Swiss. And you can see the Swiss is doing the same thing everybody else is doing. It's fighting to, it's going up, which means it's losing against the dollar. That's what that's all about. And you can see the fast is heading towards the zero line right there. You see the slow is above. We think it's going to trade in between this zone here for a while. And then from there, we shoot over to the yen. And you see the same. Now, the yen has been in the sell, which is bullish for the yen, because it's dollar yen, not yen dollar. So when it's going down, it's gaining. And you can see here, today it's jumping up. I guess that's part of the craziness going on in South Korea. And let's see what else can we identify. Well, it did go into that sell 2 weeks ago, or at the end of last week, somewhere's in here, it went into the sell, moved down. But after that situation that happened in South Korea, it makes sense for a lot of the Asian nations to be, kind of upside down. At least I would think. I mean, that's the way I would think about it all. I would think that they'd be a little nervous trying to defend their currency. I heard, a lot of money managers are rushing in and buying South Korean stocks, thinking that this was just a simple anomaly, nothing major. So, all right. From there, we go over to the Great Experiment. There it is right there. Widen it out a little bit so you can get a better flavor on the short term. It's going on, this is like 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 9 weeks, 11 weeks now. We haven't seen something like this in heading into half a decade. It took 3.5 years to get. We saw 9 weeks in a sell. That's the most we've seen in almost 5 years, I believe. We'll go back and check it, and then maybe tomorrow we'll identify it and see if there's any logic to trying to figure out if it has any meaningful event. Let's see what else we got. And you can see here it's on a third day down, which is very which is bullish for the currency and the people in Turkey. And then from there, we go down to South Africa. See what's going on in South Africa. That's jumbly at best, I guess you could say. Look at that. It's sideways. The currency's sideways. They're a major producer in gold. So we'll take a look at gold itself. There's gold. You see gold is got a green and a red, breaking below the zero line. It's trying to get into a sell maybe tomorrow. It's still in the weekly sell, so I mean, if it gets into a sell, I guess maybe there's another leg down. We keep on thinking that with Mr. Trump as the president, that we'll see the metals complex come down, not up. We believe a lot of it is because of the war in Central Europe, in Ukraine. We figure that that's a lot of the reason why we've been watching gold climb, and that once that stops, I'm trying to sell some physical gold myself just to get rid, because I'm concerned that once Mr. Trump resolves some of those problems in Europe on the war side, we'll start to see metal prices, back off a little bit there. And then from there, from there, we'll shoot over to silver. Silver has been like the major offset to gold. showing a little bit. Look at that, 2 days of strength there. You see, it's not. It's giving us a red and a green. There's the red. There's the green. It's doing that, but it's still above. So it's not. It's been in a buy for 4 days here, and a weekly sell for this is the 5th week. So you can't really play the long side. It's kind of stuck in neutral. It's not long, not short, just trapped. And then we'll shoot over to China and see what copper's doing. Copper jumped back into the buy again. But the weekly is still in a weekly sell now for 6 full weeks. And we keep on expecting to see, some, price action of, I don't know, copper. I guess we think that there must be some front running going on, like they're going to stimulate. There must be another stimulation coming around the corner. And that'll be interesting to see. I mean, it doesn't have the look of the first stimulus about 2.5 months ago, and it doesn't have a look like the way the CCP announced the second stimulus. Let's jump over to, we're going to do this. We're going to jump right to, let's take a look at Shanghai and see how they're quoting the stocks this morning. Or how they traded them last night. Let's put it that way. There we go. You can see that we'll make it bigger. You can see here it's down last night, but not a lot. It's still in the buy when you go and look at, let's see, can I do that? Let's see, where's that going like that? You can see here on the daily algorithm. There's the daily algorithm, and you can see there it's acting pretty firm there. It's not acting weak, that's for sure. Let's see. I'm going to do this live for a second. I'm going to explain something to somebody. Someone said, "Hey, I haven't heard from you," and I'm like, "Oh." Let's see. Let's see if I can call them. Put them on the air. Let's see, go like that. And then like that. And this explanation is, if anybody understands why, wants to understand why we have so many more minutes on.
Good morning.
Good morning. You are live across the planet. This morning we lost first they had to put a new thumbnail up. That stalled us out for about 25 minutes. And then we got trapped for another bunch of minutes, like 15, 20 minutes. The microphone wasn't working. And so I've been on for 40 minutes so far, and I've only really done like 25 minutes of real broadcast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm going to go all the way to the New York Open at 9:30.
Oh, okay.
So, which will have an incredible amount of time on there. It'll be like 80 minutes or an hour and 20 minutes on there. So.
Wow.
Yeah, really.
Okay, well, do what you got to do. I just was worried that everything was okay.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's like you got to wonder. Biden is falling apart. I said this in the beginning of the webinar. You got to wonder. Biden blew it. For the pardon. They've turned him down, and they're all confused now. Because of the pardon to begin with. If he had only excused his son's what do they call it when they sentence him? If he had pardoned the sentencing and just left it at that, he would have gotten away with it. But he tried to shield himself from lawsuits in the future, and that screwed it all up. And then so now, young Biden, if it all holds up, he has to testify against his uncle and his father, or he'll go to jail if he doesn't testify about them.
Wow.
I know. So he's really messed that up. And so we have. Then you have the next thing. You had the martial law in South Korea, making the world even crazier. And then you have the third thing. What was the third thing? Oh, France is getting ready to vote their government out. They're going to overturn the government in a matter of minutes or hours now. And so you got to wonder what is going on in the stars and the moon and so forth. I mean, this is the second day of me being way off course. It's like,
Well,
what?
I'm just seeing on Fox now that the president is mulling over the idea of replacing Texas with Ron DeSantis.
Right.
If he can't get him approved.
Exactly. So, I mean, there's definitely, the whole world seems to be upside down at the moment. And you got to imagine the stock market's doing fine at the same time. It's, it's like, you can, you just know that they stimulate everything they can to keep it alive. They make the stock market so false. So, anyway, I'm going to get back to the webinar. They've been hearing you and they've been hearing me. So, catch you later. So, yeah, I mean, it's just it's just so upside down. That's a friend of mine that trades does buy rights on her stocks. So, at this point in time, you're talking some of the weirdest stuff going on across the planet, and at the same time, we see gold almost, like sideways. You see silver trying to inch up. You see copper trying to lift, and you can see the buying going on in the algorithm on the Shanghai right there. You see that. At the same time, we've been in weekly sells for a couple weeks, and you can see over on the weekly. Let's see if we can just move it over instead of making it bigger, but go like that. You see the weekly is just over inching its way over. You can see it right down in here, just inching its way over the buy side. Down in here, you see that right there. Just getting up. So, we've got a lot of strange global news going on that you just want to scratch your head and go, what is, is the moon and the stars, is Jupiter and, squaring with Uranus or what? It's like, what is going on? And I do know that there's this alignment of all the planets on the same side of the solar system coming up. I don't know if that's right now or the last 24 hours. I think I'm going to go look it up on one of the machines I have around here, because I think that it's got to be something very astrological going on. Especially, Mr. Biden, as I guess you heard, he's messed up the pardon. It's not constitutional, and if anything holds, that if he pardons his son, he's got to just pardon his son for the things he's been sentenced to, which will force him to have to testify against his father and his uncle, which is like, wow. That's why Biden did the type of pardon that he did. He was trying to protect himself because, I mentioned to you yesterday, Biden has to basically pardon. He has to. I went through this little litany. He's got to pardon himself. He's got to pardon his brother, and they haven't been tried yet. So it's really hard to pardon somebody that hasn't been tried. And then he's got to pardon his sister, his daughter-in-law, his 6 grandchildren. They have to be pardoned because they've what do they call it? When you wash money, they washed money through everybody's accounts, like a little more than $56 million. And it's still going on. In other words, they're investigating it, and they're discovering more. The audit trails and where the money was, who had the money, how it was transferred, where it came from. They have all this, and the mainstream media says it's a lie. They say it's a lie when all the proof is there, and it's been sent to the Justice Department, and the Justice Department has done nothing about it. They just pretend like it doesn't exist. So as long as the Justice Department is not recognizing it, then the media keeps on saying, "Oh, it's all a lie. It's fake," when in fact it's real. And then Mr. Biden does a pardon to his son, and it turns into unconstitutional because he's trying to defend. He's basically trying to pardon himself and his son, but we all know that he has to also pardon all the others I've mentioned. So talk about crazy going on right now. I mean, crazy. No other way of describing it. All right, let's go take a look at platinum, and we'll see how platinum is looking this morning, and that'll move us out of the metals area. And I'll go take a look and see when all the planets align in the solar system, because I know it's coming up. It's around the corner. It's just a matter of days. I know that much. I know that. I posted it a long while back about it. Back in November. Back in October, I think I posted about it. So now there's platinum, and platinum is playing with the sell side this morning on the daily, and it's been in a weekly sell now, a sixth week. It's having its issues, and you can see it over on the spreadsheet. Let's just go to there. You see, there's gold, 3 weeks in a sell, 4 weeks in a sell for silver, 5 weeks in a sell for copper, another 5 weeks in platinum. So basically that's really 4, 5, 6, and 6 now. And you can see where the dailies are right there. They've been in daily buys, and we're flirting around with all this odd direction. Just strange, and more strange. So, let me see. Let's just take a look and see. Planets. In solar system. In order. Let's see. Aligned on one side. System. So let's see. Planets in solar system. All aligned on one side. Let's see. A scenario where all the planets in our solar system are perfectly aligned on one side of the Earth is considered virtually impossible due to the different orbit planet paths. Each planet has made a true planetary. Let's see. When do planets in our solar system all line up? Let's see, there was one there. I know I saw it and I posted it. There's a line. Let's see. No. Okay. Let's see. Getting telescope. Let's see. Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune will be visible at the same time before sunrise. When is that? I know there's one coming up in December or January. On November 7th, also, no, that's not it. I'll have to go back in my Facebook and hunt it down. Because it definitely, I know it's there. And, I know that it's coming up, and I thought it was like in the first week of December. So, we're going to, we'll find it, and, it's just, let's see, there we go. And just keep on searching for it, I guess. Basically, that's what it comes down to. So, it is one of the weirder situations. I mean, when you really think about all the things that have been going on for, the last 2 days, you would think that something is going on, much sooner than we realize. Let's put it that way. I don't think I know it's not a perfect alignment. It's just that they're all going to be aligned on the same side as Earth in the solar system itself. That's what it is. And when you see things like that, you usually get some really strange events that happen on Earth. People, because they know about it, they act strange, or they follow astrology and they act strange, or in other words, it's just it's not far-fetched for it to have a psychological influence. I mean, think about some of the strangest things we've just seen. I mean, really. It's been about as weird as you can get, basically. So, let's see. Where's it? Egypt, pyramid. No, Not that. I know I saw it. I want to say I saw it in October. It was definitely late October when I posted it, and I thought, wow, this is really cool. I want to pay attention to it financially. And then I thought, oh, somebody in astronomical or in physics will mention it. Because physics people and cosmology mention stuff like that every so often. So you would think that I'd be hearing more about it, but I have not seen a thing. So I kind of thought, oh, okay, maybe it's in January. But I could have sworn in my head that it was in December, because I saw it in October. So, yeah, what can you say? It's just the way the world is acting. I keep on waiting for the next shoe to drop today and watch the French government to I guess they'll have to call if they successfully do what they've said they're doing, then and supposedly they have the votes. Then what will happen is that I guess they'll be calling for new elections. I guess that's what it comes down to. And think about that. People in England are petitioning for new elections. People in now France want new elections. Talk about, talk about crazy going on. Holy moly, Holy moly. Let's see. Yeah. All right. Let's go from there. Let's see. Let's go from there to. I was looking for it. I'm going to keep on looking, and let's move over to. Let's see. Where is it at? Let's go over to there, and put up. Is that where it is? Okay, let's move that over now, like that. That's what it is. There we go. And let's put up the energies. Let's see where Brent is this morning. We saw. It's right there. We'll do West Texas because they march together most of the time almost perfectly. Now you can see West Texas is up just a little bit. It's in a daily buy. It's trying to climb into the weekly buy with no problem. See all that strength kicking in there, and it's up a little bit compared to yesterday's move. Now, let's go back and look at Brent. See what Brent was doing, because I saw Brent down at one point earlier today. West Texas was down like about 15-20 cents. Nothing major. Very mild sell-off going on. Not even a sell-off, just down. That's it. I wouldn't call that a sell-off. Now here is Brent, and Brent is also showing it was down just a little bit. You can see just a little bit, and now it's up. So we're seeing that strength in the energies at the same time. You can see there the weekly is lifting very strong, just like let's move it over to here. There it is, like there. You can see that. It should be like that. There we are. You can see that. It's marching up very strongly. You can see in daily buy for a couple days here. And over on crude oil, we have 1 day in a daily buy going on. Today's the second day. When it comes to Brent, let's make that bigger. You have 2 days of green, so it looks like we're going into a second day of buy there. And you can see the algorithm itself has been across the line for 4 days. And so it's been battling to lift up. I have a hard time, believing that they can really get any of these things, up and going, solely because, we're looking at, Mr. Trump. I understand. Excuse me. I understand Mr. Trump is going to be signing legislation within minutes. Congress is going to pass it because Congress comes into session on January 3rd, and then Mr. Trump gets sworn in January 20th. So, you've got, matter of fact, what is January 20th? I think that might be Martin Luther King Day even. So you got that going on. Let me just take a sip of water. Ah, that's better. Also had a sneeze there too. There we go. All right, there we go. So, yeah, there's the Brent working its way sideways to up. Uh, uh, and it basically we're seeing the same thing in crude in West Texas. Let's take a look at the heating oil across the planet, and then we'll go take a look at nat gas. Now, that is unchanged for the day. You can see that there. It's trying to climb into a buy, but on that edge, just down. So the kerosene slash diesel oil slash heating oil, all the same product basically, down, but it's flirting with the weekly buy, as you see right there. There it is right there, just trying to get back into that weekly buy. And then let's take a look at natural gas. It was selling down yesterday. There we go. There's the January contract. It sold down yesterday. It's the second day in a sell. And it's the weekly's trying to climb into a sell also with no problem. It's making some bold, strong moves. And again, I was, speculating, there's a good chance that right now there are ships full of liquefied gas being transported to Europe as we speak. And the day, on January 19th, they'll get very close to the port, and I think they have to stay out of territorial waters. And then what'll happen is they will get into the territory. On the 20th, as soon as he's sworn in, he'll sign the document, and they'll be able to pull into European waters and be able to park there and load up that day. You'll be getting natural gas from the United States. But he's doing a lot of things very smoothly and very just consistent and very strong. So and that's the name of the game there, really. All right. Let's see, what else can we say about any of that? I guess. Let's see. From there, that was natural gas. Let's take a look at the energy company down in Spain. Get a flavor of that. And that's probably why we're seeing natural gas drop compared to the other products in the middle of the... Not even winter yet. We're on the edge of winter. And it's backing off. Because I'm assuming, as I suggested, we're going to see... that's what we're probably going to see. Let's see. Where's that energy stock? Right there it is. Now they popped that up today. It's still in the sell because it's underneath the zero line. You can see that there on the daily. And you can see it's in a weekly buy now, second week. It's trying to lift, but it's not giving you much. All it did is give you an opportunity to take your profit there from the strength of this. So let's just make it bigger to point that out a little bit better. So you were long for this move, and that one told you to take some profits, and then obviously they slammed it, and now they're climbing back up again. And if it's in a weekly buy, so if the algorithm gets into the daily algorithm, which is right here, still in the sell, if that starts to get into now why does that say the third? There's the second. Okay, so that's not updated. I guess it has to wait till the end of the day and see what the algorithm is on that one because it's Europe. Or I guess maybe 11:30 London close, United States time. Maybe it'll update this algorithm at this point. All right, and then from there, that does the energies. So we'll take a quick peek around the planet. Let's go right to Saudi Arabia and see how the Saudi Arabian Aramco is doing today. And then we've seen what's it called, Shanghai. We'll take a look at Singapore Straits Times and Hong Kong. See if they're front running anything. If they're starting to reach for stocks more. If they're doing that, then I think the CCP is out of China is going to probably do a stimulus. There's Aramco there. It's showing firmness. It's a second day in a buy, and the algorithm hasn't updated yet until the close of the states here probably. And then you can see the weekly is trying to climb into the buy. It's just plus 6.3 at the moment. Just inching its way into the buy zone. Real soft and steady. All right, now let's check out the Singapore Straight Times. STI. There it is right there. All right. As you can see here, it's been inching up nicely the last 4 days, 5 days now. We're in buys and we're in weekly buy. So, there's a good chance we're getting another little sugar high coming around the corner. Let's see how Hong Kong is. We saw where Hong Kong and Singapore really front-runned the move last time when they did the big move, I'm not sure, we know that they need to do way more than they've done. They haven't even done a quarter of what they need to do. That's how little they've done. So in other words, they need to do between 25 and 30 trillion won, and they've done 2.8 trillion won. And so that's not even a quarter. That's an eighth. They barely even done an eighth of what they need to do. And you can see here, Hong Kong doing the same thing and climbing into a weekly buy and the dailies, and you can see there's strength coming into there. This is that first move, which was fantastic. This was the second when the CCP said what they were going to do, and they sold it down, and they moved it down. And so we're watching and waiting to see if they're going to go challenge. Well, they're challenging this high right here, but they need to challenge these highs. And let's say they end up, doing some type of. We like to when the Federal Reserve does stuff, or we always call that like nibbling on the edges, because they're not doing the full thing; they're only doing a partial of it. And so I would say basically that until we really see some, we need to see, like five, let's see, 5 trillion more in won. And that would be just under like $750 billion. So they need to do I guess what they really need to do is at least do $1 trillion to start off with. We all know that they need to do somewhere around $4 trillion. Let's see, $1 trillion is, or let's say seven. Let's see, seven. Was it $1 trillion? Let's see, it's $156 billion to $1 trillion four. Yeah. All right. So what is that? 6 times that, 7 times that. So 7 times 1.4. You're talking about, you need to do about $11 trillion. I'm sorry, 11 trillion won. 10.5 to 11 trillion won to do $1 trillion. And they need to do about $3 trillion to perk up their economy. That's the high end of it. The low end is, I always want to say between 25 and 30, but it's really like 27 total. That's what they really need to do is 27 trillion. Honestly, I always say between 25 and 30, to give them wiggle room if they're listening to me. So that's the way it is. They need to do that to get it really rolling along. Yeah. So, all right. From there, what else can we say about that? That's the. What is that? That's the Hang Seng. Also we noticed at the time too on that last sugar high, Taiwan took off like a rocket ship. Let's see if we can show you that. Yeah, they did that sugar high right there, I guess it was. Yeah. And so, I mean, you see, look at that. Look at the strength in that the last 4 days, or last 3 days, They're lifting up. I would have to assume we're going to see some type of stimulus by the Chinese, maybe more than what the CCP put out. I think that's part of the problem, is that they put out way too low, and they're not convincing anybody to do anything because of that. And that is really the crutch of it all, really. Yeah, yeah, Mason. Yeah, exactly. All right, where are we at this point? We've been on here for an hour and 8 minutes, so we'll trying to think what else we could look at and talk about. Oh, what we should do is work on a title too. What a confused day, and I'm going to keep on searching for that planet thing because I posted it, and I'm totally convinced that something weird is going on where the psyche on the planet is jumping up and down, doing goofy things. So there you are. Title today. What can we say? Besides technical difficulties, but let's see. We talked about the strange events going on Earth, and gold is not really reacting to reacting, and stocks are. That's the thing. That's the funny part out of it all. I'm going to label this gold not, or let's see, gold not, let's see, was it not reacting to world news. Not work news, world news. And we could have even said technical analysis. I mean, we watch all these objects move, and that's all we can do is because things are so strange. You're not sure if there's any solid fundamentals that you can actually lean on. It's all the technical analysis that we can pay attention to at this point. So it's an odd, very odd event. Very odd event. So, all right, traders, this is Doc from North America. We are all set again. All life is good. We will catch you all tomorrow, same time, same channel. So, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders. Have a safe and smart trading day.